important principles, I would say secret behind Toyota production system. So Toyota, they launched this Toyota production system in the year 1960. Toyota production system is completely based on four important principles. The first principle is philosophy is the foundation. What is the foundation? Philosophy is the foundation. What is philosophy? What we believe. Philosophies are nothing but the belief. And Toyota, they believed that we need to create. They believed on value. They believed on value. Focus on creating value to people. That is the philosophy. Focus on creating value to people. Automatically money will come. And who are people? Is it only your customer? No. My customer, my employee, my management, society, create value for everyone. So that is the philosophy at Toyota. This is their first principle. Do you all understand what is principle number 1 under Toyota production system?
Yes, sir.
Principle number 2, right process will produce right result. Right process will produce right result. A wrong process will produce wrong result. The secret of your effectiveness lies with your business process. That is principle number 2. Principle number 3, add value by developing your people and partner. Who are your people? Your employees are your people. Who are your partners? Suppliers. The raw material supplier, the child part supplier. Do you know there are positions called purchase manager? Their job is to ensure the company purchases quality raw material and then purchases quality child parts, because the overall quality is result of raw material and the child parts. So you add value to the organization by developing your people and partners. If you actually develop your people, they will develop your company. You develop your people, they will develop your company. And then principle 4, continuously solve the problems by fixing the root cause. Continuously solve problem by fixing the root cause. Because if you fix the problem, if you solve the problem by fixing the root cause, the problem cannot come again. The problem cannot come again. So if you follow these 4 principles, your organization will produce very good results, and then eventually will become a market leader. And these 4 principles, in order to practice 4 principles, tools and techniques were developed. Tools and techniques were developed by these people you see on the right side: Eiji Toyoda, Taichi Ono, Shigeo Shingo. And these 3 people and then their followers, they developed a lot of tools. That is what we are going to learn from the course. And these tools and techniques and approach later become lean, and now it is successfully adopted by all companies. Many people still think that it is applicable only for manufacturing industries, and that is why only the mechanical students you are learning. Actually, these are all helpful in electronic industries, computer science industries, software development industries, electrical industries, wherever, chemical industries, construction industries. That means these principles, lean tools and techniques, all engineers must know, that can make you highly employable. I want one of you to recall these 4 principles. What is the first principle? Come on, what is the first principle?
Philosophy is the foundation.
Philosophy. First principle. Philosophy is the foundation. Right? What is the second principle?
Right process will produce right result.
Right process will produce right result. Can somebody read out the lines one by one? Can somebody read out the lines one by one? Tara ஒருத்தர் படிங்க. Read the lines one by one. It will explain what is the meaning of right process producing right result. Come on, read out, one of you.
The right process will produce the right results.
Go ahead.
Create a continuous process flow to bring problems to the surface. Use pull systems to avoid overproduction. Level out the workload, work like the tortoise, not the hare. Build a culture of stoppage to fix problems. To get quality right the first time, standardized tasks and processes are foundation for continuous improvements and employee empowerment. Use visual control so no problems are hidden. Use only reliable, thoroughly tested technology to serve people and process.
You all understand the power of the statement? If you believe in the principles, automatically all the problems will come to the surface, right? And then any problem that happens in a company, you must learn to stop. You stop, fix the problem, and then move on. There are, see, most of the time in our personal life also, we don't understand all the mistakes what we are doing. We don't correct it, but still we want to move forward. We completed first year, and attitude wise we are wrong in many things. We don't correct it. We move on to the second year, we move on to the third year, we move on to the final year, and then fail miserably. So don't do like that. When you understand you are wrong, you must stop, think, fix it, and then move forward. Same way you need to run your company also. Principle 3. Who is going to read the principle 3? One of you read the principle number 3. I already explained. Principle 3, add value by developing people. And principle 4, continuously solve problems by fixing the root cause. So this is called the house of Toyota production system. This is called house of Toyota production system. There are two important pillars. One is on the left side, another one is on the right side. On the left side, the pillar is called just in time. Left side, the pillar is called just in time. You all know what is just in time. Just in time means I produce only when I understand there is a demand. That is called what? Just in time. How do I achieve just in time? I use tools like continuous flow. What is the tool? Continuous flow. And there is another tool, takt time. Another tool, pull system. Kanban is a pull system. Quick changeover. SMED is a tool that can help you reduce the changeover. What is continuous flow means? There is no inventory. What is continuous flow? No inventory. No inventory means continuous flow. Consider a lift and what is the other one called? We normally see in shopping malls and cinema theater buildings. What is that called?
Elevator and escalator.
Yes. So one is our lift, and other side is the escalator, right? And what is the difference between escalator and the lift? What is the difference? Escalator and lift.
Escalator continuous flow.
Lift. What is lift then? Escalator is continuous flow. Beautiful. What is the one? Now, what is lift called then? Lift follows batch flow. A batch of 20 people enters the lift. A batch of 20 people enters the lift, and then all remaining should wait. Am I correct? All remaining people should wait for the lift to come. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to wait for the escalator?
Oh, sir.
You can move continuously, isn't it? That is the advantage of
Yes, sir.
continuous flow. Continuous flow will eliminate waiting. If there are no waiting, there are no inventory. Do you understand? So any factory environment, try to have a continuous flow, not a batch flow. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Takt time. Takt time is the rate at which customer want you to produce the product. Takt time is nothing but the demand rate. Takt time is nothing but the demand rate. How many products you should produce every day? How many products you should produce every shift? How many product you should produce every single hour? How many product you should produce every single minute? Or how much time you must take to produce one single product? That is called takt time. That is called takt time. If you go to Hyundai or any car manufacturing company, you can see them talking like this. Our facility produces one car every 17 minutes. What is that they are saying? They produce a car every 17 minutes. What does it mean? Can somebody explain? If my factory produce a car every 17 minutes, what does it mean? Does it mean the car manufacturing time is 17 minutes?
So they're practicing continuous flow, sir.
They are practicing not only continuous flow, they practice all the lean concept. Finally, they brought the takt time to 17 minutes. So takt time is different from your manufacturing time. Full system. Only wherever there is a demand, they produce. Changeover. Whenever there is a change required, one setup to another setup, one product to another product, right? And the changeovers are done in less than 10 minutes. That is called a quick changeover. On the right side, Jidoka. Jidoka means built-in quality. You cannot escape from producing a quality product. If you produce a poor quality product, that will be visible immediately. Like for example, I see Jidoka is nothing but ensuring quality. Ensuring quality. If there is no quality, immediately it will be noticed. And so there are so many tools created. Anden is a visual clue. Anden is a visual clue. If my machine is not working, a red color light will glow. So if the CEO walks in the factory and if he sees red color light glowing for 10 machine, what does it mean? If the red color light is glowing, with the 10 machines, what does it tells? Those 10 machines are not working condition. All of you understand what I'm talking? Come on, do you all understand? So Anden is
Yes, sir. It has some error.
some visual clue. Anden means visual clue. Immediately, one can understand whether the machine is in working condition or machine is not working condition. In the road, when you go, the traffic signal, they have red color, yellow color, and green color. When red color is put, when the red color light is glowing, we all have to know we should stop there. We should not cross the line because there is a red signal. Because something else is going on, so I should not move. Same way, when machine is not in a running condition, a red color light will glow. Now what is that you are insisting? You don't want to see any red color light glowing with any of the machine. So a visual system that will bring the problem to the surface, that is called Anden. Do you understand what is Anden? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is why I also want all of you to come on video. Because I want to know really whether you are curious to learn or you are less curious. If you really don't want to learn, and then I don't want to trouble you. But if you really want to learn, then I can you know, help you with a lot of explanation. So some clues are required to achieve the quality. That is, and then error proofing. Even if somebody wanted to know make a mistake, he cannot make a mistake. That is called error proofing. For example, the seat belt in the car. If I don't put the seat belt, my car will give alarm. If I don't put the seat belt, my car will not allow me to start. That means what? It's error proof system, mistake proofing system, right? And separation of man and machine, right? For example, what is separation of man and machine? Can somebody explain? For any machine, when it is running, there will be some shutters. Have you seen some shutters? So that, you know, a man cannot interfere when the machine is running, right? So that you can prevent accidents and other things. So all these things are called Jidoka. On the left side is just in time. Left side is just in time. And then the foundation to establish just in time, foundation to establish Jidoka or Kaizen. Unless and until you wanted, you willingly, you know, come forward for improvement, you change yourself. Because Kaizen is changing for the better. Changing for the better is no foundation. And then your processes should be stable and standardized. Stable process, standard process. That is a foundation. And Heijunka, what is Heijunka? Leveling. Leveling means if there are 100 people, 100 people will share the responsibility. If there are 100 machines, all 100 machines will be utilized for production. This is not correct, overloading a certain resource. Now, how many people are here in the meeting? 40 people. But how many people actually interact? Only 3 people interact. Are we following Heijunka in the training program? Come on, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, not yes, it is no. Because only 3 people are participating and remaining 37 people, they don't participate. Everybody should participate equally. Then only it is called Heijunka. All resources should be utilized equally. You should not give more work to one employee and less work to other employee. You should not give more work to one machine and give less work to other machine. Both are wrong. And the idea of maintaining the workload equal is called Heijunka. If you have Heijunka, have stable and standard process, have Kaizen, then Jidoka can be implemented, just in time can be achieved. As a result, highest quality, lowest cost, shortest lead time, empowered employees, best safety, high morale. And this system is called what? Toyota production system. And today we call it as lean. Do you all understand what is Toyota production system?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Understood, sir.
And now answer my question. What are the 4 guiding principles of Toyota production system? What are the 4 guiding principles of Toyota production system? What is the first principle?
Philosophy of the foundation.
Very good. So create, the philosophy is create value for people. And next principle number 2.
Right process produce right results.
Right process will produce right results. What is principle number 3?
Add value to the organization.
Add value by developing your people and partners. Add value by developing your people and partners. What is principle number 4?
Solving good problems.
Principle number 4 is solve problem by fixing the root cause. So you all should be a very good problem solver. You all should be very strong in root cause analysis. You have studied so many things, but finally, what makes you employable? Your skill in following all these things. Process improvement knowledge, right? Understanding about what is value adding and what is non-value adding, and then your ability in root cause analysis. Equip you. And there are two important pillars of Toyota production system. What is the pillar you see on the left side? What is the pillar you see on the right side?
And Jidoka.
Pillar one is just in time. What is pillar two?
Jidoka.
Jidoka. What is that you have seen in the foundation? What is the foundation of your house? What is that you have seen in the foundation?
Kaizen.
Kaizen. Then Kaizen.
Heijunka.
Heijunka. Then
Kaizen.
Stable and standardized.
stable and standard process. Can somebody tell me what is Kaizen? What is Kaizen?
Small improvements.
Small improvements, continuous improvement. Kaizen is a Japanese word. Kei means change, Gen means better. What is the meaning of Heijunka? What is Heijunka? What is Heijunka? Leveling the workload, am I right? Evenly loading the resources. That is called what? Heijunka. We call it leveling up. If there are 10 machines, we must load all 10 machines equally. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
See here, and we understood about lean thoroughly. See now, lean is focusing on improving the efficiency, and Six Sigma is focusing on improving the effectiveness. Actually, Six Sigma is a management philosophy, is a data-driven methodology. It decreases the variation in your product. As a result, the defects also will go down, right? See here, I have a process. It is having a longer spread. When the process has longer spread, then there is a lot of variation. So what I do, I reduce the variation. So my process appear like this. So my variation comes down. As a result, I get high quality product. So as a result, my products will have lesser waste, lesser rework, reduced cost, great predictability, consistency, and my customer will be happier. When I reduce the spread of the process from wider to narrower, my sigma level is increasing. From 2 sigma level, 6 sigma, my capability is increasing to 6 sigma. In order to understand this concept, you have to learn, you have to undergo additional sessions or additional training, and then only you will be able to understand, because it is not that easy as your lean. And Six Sigma aims to produce quality products right at the first time, right? First time right always is the philosophy of Six Sigma. So foundation of Six Sigma is any problem in any industry can be converted into a statistical problem. Statistical problem is nothing but a number problem. And for all number problem, a statistical solution exists. All that you must know is you must understand the kind of distribution your data is following. Sometimes it will follow normal distribution. Sometimes it will follow binomial distribution. Sometimes it will follow Poisson distribution, and there are several distributions. But if you master only one distribution, which is called a normal, you can solve 95% of the problems in any organization, right? And then the statistical solution can be achieved by making changes in the business process. That is called a practical solution, right? And this was introduced by a company called Motorola, and the main people behind the Six Sigma methodologies, Bill Smith and Michael Harry. And of course, it is after Bill Smith, Michael Harry popularized this methodology, and then all other company also adopted. So Six Sigma is essentially a metric that will tell you your capability to produce product meeting customer requirement. That is, your effectiveness is measured in terms of a sigma level. Higher sigma level means your effectiveness is very high. Lower sigma level means your effectiveness is very low. Six Sigma is a metric, and Six Sigma is a methodology. There are two methodologies it gives. One is DMAC, another one is DMAC-V. One is DMAC, another one is DMAT-V. In my opinion, all of you should master DMAC methodology, because DMAT-V is an R&D kind of thing. It's a product development methodology which you can learn after going to the middle level managerial position. But at the entry level managerial position, you should be very strong in DMAC methodology. The same DMAC methodology can be used for your final year project also, right? So if possible, please try to become a Six Sigma green belt before you take up a project with industries, right? So because it gives you a methodology called DMAC, the 5 phase methodology. And Six Sigma is a way of management. You can manage people, you can assign them roles and responsibilities according to their real knowledge and skill. If you assign a work to a person who do not possess the required amount of knowledge and required amount of skill, do you think he will do the job for you? No, it is not possible, right? So you can use Six Sigma to manage people, because Six Sigma is nothing but, like how you take up a certain education in the school, certain education in the college, and again you take up certain post-graduation education. Same way, if you want to practice Six Sigma, you have to go through several levels. The levels are called the belt level. The initial level is yellow belt, and the next level is green belt, and then the next level is black belt, and then the next level is master black belt, and things like that, right? So by using the Six Sigma philosophy, Six Sigma approach, you can effectively manage people. And Six Sigma is again another philosophy. Doing things right at the first time is a philosophy that is required in every industry, right? So Six Sigma is basically a metric, right? It tells you that if you maintain Six Sigma capability, the defects are limited to 3.4 DPMO. What is DPMO stand? DPMO stands for defects per million opportunity. DPMO stand for defects per million opportunity. I produce 1 million product and only there are 3.4 defects in it, not more than that, right? So that's why Six Sigma is considered a metric. It gives two methodology. One is DMAC, another one is DMAT-V. And DMAC is for solving all your quality issues in your existing product. DMAT-V is a new product development approach, right? And Six Sigma is a way of management. And the starting level of skill is yellow belt, and next level is green belt. Please make sure you at least become a green belt before you take up a project in any organization, because all projects in any organization are nothing but Lean Six Sigma project. Any project in any organization will focus on either improving the effectiveness or improving the efficiency. If you don't want to improve the effectiveness, you don't want to improve the efficiency, company will not be interested in supporting your project, right? So try to be a green belt before you take up a project, and then after becoming a part of the middle management, or after gaining some experience in the company, you can try to become a black belt, and then later on you can become a master black belt, right? Six Sigma is a philosophy. It is applied across all sectors, right? So to the extent possible, try to integrate Lean and Six Sigma and practice as an integrated Lean Six Sigma approach. See here the x-axis. X-axis is defect. When I keep on reducing the defect, my approach is Six Sigma. When I keep on reducing the defect along x-axis, my approach is Six Sigma. When I keep on improving, implementing Six Sigma, my non-value adding cost will come down. It comes it comes down up to this. And on the z-axis, time is coming down. When I reduce the time, what is my focus? I am improving my efficiency. So my lead time keeps on coming down. When my lead time comes down, again my manufacturing cost will come down. My non-value adding cost will come down. If I focus on Six Sigma as well as Lean simultaneously, this continuous line is called Lean Six Sigma approach. This Lean Six Sigma it improves effectiveness. See here, there are no defects. It also improves my efficiency. See, lead time is also shorter and there are no defects. That means my manufacturing cost will come down drastically. So Lean Six Sigma helps you in achieving operational excellence because it improves your effectiveness. It also improves your efficiency. And see, Six Sigma, the improvement is reduce the defects by reducing variation. In Lean, it reduces waste. The justification for Six Sigma is it will reduce the defects to the level of 3.4 DPMO. DPMO means defects per million opportunity. Lean will reduce the waste and will speed up the business. Lean will speed up the business process. So Six Sigma will make saving in terms of cost of poor quality. Lean will make saving in terms of operating cost. But learning curve for Six Sigma is long, and that is why I am not recommending right now. You have to change a lot to learn the Six Sigma, but lean can be learned very easily. These tools are very, very easier. And there are various approaches to identify a Six Sigma project. But for identifying a lean project, you need to master a tool called value stream mapping. And Six Sigma projects generally takes 2 to 6 months time. But lean projects, you can easily finish somewhere from 1 week to 3 months. Six Sigma is data driven, whereas lean is demand driven. Complexity with the Six Sigma project is high, but complexity with the lean project is moderate. So Six Sigma's focus is accurate output, capable process. Lean's focus is faster process and waste reduction. As a result, better quality, faster delivery. That means improved customer satisfaction and higher market growth, right? So there are different levels in Six Sigma. The initial level is white belt. White belt means basic understanding. Probably yesterday and today, you might have understood how things work in a factory environment. This now you have already become a white belt. How many of you realize we need to be very systematic? We need to focus on effectiveness. We need to focus on efficiency in any kind of factory environment, be it a small or be it medium or be it large. That basic understanding is white belt. But when you really wanted to achieve some improvement, do some project in a company, this qualification is not enough. What you learned so far is not enough. You must try to become an yellow belt. Yellow belt means you can work in project, but you have to be guided by green belts. So my recommendation to all of you is try to become a Six Sigma green belt. And already your seniors, near about 130 people have become an yellow belt from me, right? And then probably they will become a green belt soon. So you also position yourself properly in front of your recruiter. So a green belt can do Six Sigma project, can do lean project, or can do lean Six Sigma project, and they can be even project team leader, and then they can guide the team members. And all of you can benefit by attending the Six Sigma Green Belt training program. And you can produce very good results when you are doing a project internship in the final year. So try to become a green belt well in advance. And of course, the black belt and master black belt, project champion and sponsors, these are other levels which you can understand and learn later. But I urge you to at least become a green belt at the earliest possible time, because we must be ready for the battle well in advance. You can't say, I will learn everything after getting into the company. No, company is not going to give you that opportunity. So what is the focus of lean? Focus of lean is to reduce the lead time, or reduce the defects, or reduce the variation. Do you have an answer for this question? The focus of lean is to reduce the lead time. And focus of Six Sigma is to reduce the defects. All right, so we will talk about these things tomorrow, and tomorrow will be very interesting, right? I think these slides we can take it up tomorrow. Right, there are many things we learned today. Right, are there any questions? Are there any questions for the day? The process approach I'll explain tomorrow. Any questions? No questions? Stop here. I think time is 5:30.